Well, hello, Bob Dendry here, and welcome back to the channel. We are here in Cities Skylines, once again playing Lorikeet Valley, our wonderful home. And just before we get building today, I need to fix some stuff. So, you might have seen in the last couple of episodes, I had some issues with just pathfinding completely breaking. And I did have a look at the broken node detector mod, but and I actually did see some broken nodes in there, to be honest, but I thought, well, let's have a look at them. So we have two possibly broken nodes, and if I look at them, what I thought was, well, they're pedestrian path nodes. They've got absolutely nothing to do with my road network, so why bother? And I did post on the Reddit for Cities Skylines, just asking for a bit of help, saying I've played Cities Skylines for 500 plus hours, I've never had these issues occur. And yeah, what someone told me was, yeah, these broken nodes you'll find, they will be completely random places unrelated to where you're having any of your issues, and yet, you know, the fact that they're there and broken will mean that your city will break down in strange and unexpected ways. So I'm having a look. I've not had to fix broken nodes before, so I'm just having a bit of an experiment. Cool, so just removing that one segment of pedestrian path does remove all the broken nodes. So I'm going to relay that path now. And we're just going to run that broken node detector again, and hopefully we won't have any issues showing up now. Perfect. Okay, so with that in mind, hopefully we won't have any of those broken pathfinding issues again. So we're going to move on with the episode. So what our main focus on this episode is going to be is starting to build up this downtown / CBD area here. And we've got a couple of ideas of basically how we can best use this land we have available to us. So first of all, this point here with all these rocks, I think is going to be a perfect area for a nice little city park behind what will be our town hall, which could go right here at the edge of Birdsong. Well, it's currently Hancock Avenue, but it will actually become Birdsong Boulevard, and we'll talk about that very shortly. And we can set up with a nice grid in this sort of area, and we can also plan for some waterfront tourism here as well. So let's get started with that. Now, first thing I want to do, I actually want to straighten out this road here. I don't think it really, we want a quite neat grid in this sort of area of the city, so I'm going to pull out some of this road and we're going to relay it at a 90 to this street here. So we're going to place a nice, long, straight section of road here. We're going to take this road back just a little tiny bit further. And then what we're going to do is just take a nice broad sort of curve around to join up with our bridge. Perfect. So this will be sort of the backbone of our downtown area right here. And second thing we want to do, I think, because this road here that we've established will function as a collector and almost a pseudo-arterial, though it won't have the sort of heavy traffic you'd usually expect for an arterial. And it joins straight back onto this this sort of main drag that is a one-lane each-way road with parking and takes a lot of local traffic. So what I'm thinking we're actually going to do, we are going to realign some of our roads. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take Birdsong Way or Birdsong Road here, and we're actually going to bend it around flow around the back of our existing city and join onto the bridge, and this will become essentially a main road. So what we'll do, I'm just going to pause the game, and then we'll start working on that. We're going to take down the road here back down to ground level. And then we're just going to take a nice round, but not too round, because we don't want to go up too much of the mountain here. As autosave breaks my life for a second there. And then what we're going to do... For some reason I unpaused, I don't recall doing that. So what we're going to do here, we're going to cut off Birdsong Street here, take it back a little bit, and we're also going to take back this road here, which has now also become Birdsong Street. Interesting. And so what we're going to do is just bend this around to join up. We're going to bend this around onto a 90-ish. And our existing street here, what I'm actually going to do with this is we're going to bend it around to join up with the sort of main road of Birdsong, the suburb, to provide an alternate access point. And then from there, we're just going to go through and we're going to upgrade the rest of this road up to where it converts to this country highway sort of road. Alright, and we're going to have probably a few nodes we need to finesse a little bit, like that one where you're sort of going straight up a hill, and we probably have some nodes we can just straight out remove, which is, I think this one here looks a bit broken. So I'm going to quickly just do some tidying up. Alright, and what we're going to do, we're going to take all the roads onto Birdsong, and we're going to convert them to sort of curbed roads, just for sort of a short section, as you'd generally expect with roads coming onto like a major road like this. And cool. And the last thing we need to do is just join back up Hancock Street. And just a tiny bit of finessing of the nodes once again. Alright, and we should be good to play again. And what I want to do now is I just want to play around with the bus line. I'm not actually building a new bus line as of yet, but I just want to check to see... I just want to check to see if the pathfinding is actually going to work. So how we can check that is if I just lay down some stops on this main road that we've updated, and just sort of have them pulling into some of our suburban areas. And if they can make a route, then we're good. So that's all fine. That is fine. Fine, fine. Fine, fine. Okay, so it looks like we've fixed the issue now with the broken paths. So thank you very much. I can't remember the name of the person on Reddit who helped me out with that advice, but they're probably not watching anyway. But thank you very much, and that's really, I guess... oh, hello, staring at the sky for a minute there. Really points out that, you know, the community of these sort of games is so helpful. If you're new, or even if you're not, if you're someone quite experienced like me who's just facing something unexpected, always reach out to the community, and they will, you know, always be happy to help you in most cases. So with that fixed up and with some, you know, future planning put in place with our new sort of main road being, if it's not Birdsong, yeah, it is Birdsong Boulevard, perfect. It's time to get planning with a little bit of a grid. So I'm thinking the streets off Birdsong Boulevard here are going to be spaced out a little bit. We're not going to have like a 10 by 10 grid. I think a 20 by 10 is probably going to work quite well. And we're going to take that grid as far as our sort of straight section is going, which I think is going to be to here. And from there we're going to fall back to a more sort of traditional, probably 10 by 10 grid. And what I'm actually going to do is pull out this road here. In fact, I've changed my mind. We're going to be doing the 20 by 10 the whole way. But what we will do is put pedestrian paths through the middle of all these blocks for some added sort of connectivity. And just a slightly curved block there. So it's a bit of a hilly downtown area, but I think it's still going to work quite well. Next we need to get some water pipes down, which once again is going to be largely following our roads, but I'm not massively like concerned with it being perfect. And electricity. First, before we put down electricity, what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay down our city hall. So I want it to be centered on Birdsong Boulevard, which it centers like perfectly there. So that is fantastic. For power, we'll just build a small connection across here for the moment. We will take out these windmills and probably move them to a different area shortly. But at the moment they're serving as a bit of a temporary connection. Alright, let's get zoning. So what we want to do is, first of all, add pedestrian connections so we don't have to demolish buildings later. And just having a look and seeing what we've got available here. I think the park life paths, the amusement park paths are like a really nice sort of city-like park, and I think those will work well. The only thing I don't like about them is that they've got like the sort of like the dirt on the end of them, but we will use node controller to just sort of shift the edges of those paths as far as we can take them. And I'm just now going to use move it. Okay, perfect. So we've got our paths all set up and aligned a tiny bit better. So they probably need to go up a little bit as well. Ugh. And down a little bit there. Okay, I've got to fix that as well. Okay, it's good enough for the moment. We can fix it a little bit more if we need to. I say as I just do one last little fix. Alright, so next we want to get our services down before we get zoning, so everything is ready and good to go. And I'm just going to check our capacities of everything. So in terms of healthcare, we're doing alright at the moment, but it would probably make sense to put a hospital down here. As this is going to be sort of a major... Oh. And we need a bigger block for a hospital. What about this one? This one's a little bit smaller, so that will fit. We will need to get rid of one of our lovely paths we've just laid, but that's alright, we can relay a path sort of just next to it. That looks terrible. That still looks pretty terrible, but it's a bit better. As for fire, we absolutely need fire. In fact, we definitely need more fire. So we'll get a headquarters down, which we'll put just over here. Police. Police were actually doing quite well, but I think we will put down a police station anyway, just to plan for the future a little bit. In terms of education, education is quite good, but it would make sense for us to have schools in this area so our students don't have to go, you know, all the way back out to the burbs, I guess. So we'll get in fact, we'll probably build it up as a little bit of an education campus here, which we'll use sort of put on this block, and we can add some parks and stuff as well. So can we fit a playground? We can't fit a large playground, but we can definitely fit a small playground there. So we'll put that down. And one thing we are going to need here is, obviously this is going to be all apartments, so there's not going to be any backyards or anything like that, so that means we need some dog parks. I think dog parks are a fantastic amenity for the community. So we're going to put 2 in, because we're extra nice. Alright, power will fix itself up shortly. And it's time to get laying some zoning. So, just having a look through, we actually made these blocks too small. I didn't realise that, but it's okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to lay commercial down along this collector here. Just a nice sort of spine of commercial. Chuck a little bit of office as well, just to buffer that commercial. And then the remainder we're going to add in high density residential. Okay, I'm just going to quickly pop pause on here actually, because we need to lay down a district for this area. Alrighty, and that's probably good to start with. Now this is essentially going to be our downtown, even though we've already called this suburb Lorikeet Valley, which sort of assumes that that's our sort of main business area. But so what we're going to call this one, we're going to call this Lorini. And Lorini is actually the scientific name of the rainbow lorikeet. So that sort of makes a little bit of sense. There's a little bit of throwback to our original town name here. And I think what we want to do is I want to chuck on this here, which is, I believe, the modern city centre theme, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it is. We'll see shortly, I guess, if that's correct. But yeah, we're good to go. We'll unpause. Let's check how power's going. So everything is joining up fairly quickly, which is good news. And we just need to sort of connect these 2 remaining little pockets here, but that should be fairly quick. We've still got a fair amount of commercial demand, so this corridor should fill up, and it already is, as you can see. So we'll just let that run for a little bit, and we will be back shortly. So next we need to set up some public transport. Now, with all the stuffing around with broken transport routes, there's a couple of things I need to do. I actually need to fix up the route from Banksy Hills over to Garnet, because I broke it and didn't fix it due to the issues with the nodes and stuff not working. So I'm going to go ahead and get that sorted out. And other thing I want to do is I want to establish a new transport route that also goes from Garnet, but actually goes down the highway through Lorikeet Valley, High Hills, and then over to Lorikeet as well to give some transportation to our new downtown area. So I want to start it sort of in the suburbs of Garnet, so it does give some coverage to the residents that actually live in the suburbs. And give some opportunity for some transfers there by sharing a bus stop. And from there, it's going to go straight down express to the Lorikeet Valley sort of main drag. And then what it's going to do, it's going to continue along this road here, which is, I think it's Hancock Avenue or Hancock Road. And across the bridge. And just a couple of stops. Obviously this is sort of a high traffic area, so we don't want too many stops. And then straight back and just sort of mirror that route. Okay, perfect. So that route is down now, and I will see what sort of vehicles we should run on this. And I think we want a slightly larger. So let's go for the XN40 here. And let's see how that looks. We don't need 24 vehicles though, we might halve that to probably, let's take it down to about 10 or so, yeah. Okay, let's check on Lorikeet. So we're still waiting on more residential, and we do actually have a demand for workers, which is a problem. Because we don't want to have these abandoned on us too quickly, because that obviously is going to cause land value issues over here, which will cause issues getting people to move in. So hopefully that bus stop that we've put down will, you know, encourage people to take up jobs in the area, so that we can keep these businesses running. Hopefully. I've got a few little food trucks right behind the high school for the students to go on their lunch breaks, I guess. Okay. So the next thing I want to be doing here is to be reserving a corridor for our rail network once we get to the stage of being able to build rail. So we have a rail connection right here, just on the corner of this tile. And we want to be able to get freight trains sort of around our CBD over through to our farm area and also to our ore area. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay down a district, and that will just be sort of a reminder if I go to zone anything or create a district that that I've already promised this area to our transportation department, so that they don't get upset and, well, you know, complain. So it's going to be a bit of a round sort of area. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to look, that's why I'm sort of over zoning a little bit. But essentially what it'll probably do is it'll flow around to the left of camera of Lorikeet, around the outside, sort of just at the base of our mountain here. We might need to tunnel a little bit to make that work. Then we'll have the opportunity for some yards and industrial sort of stuff for our farming area. And then we'll need to find a nice flat area for our garnet ore area as well. And probably either this area here or this area here right next to the highway will be our best bets for that. But we'll have to see how it works out once we get that far. And unfortunately, most of our new commercial zone has all been abandoned. Obviously, we just don't have enough workers that are able to reach this area. And we still have a bit of residential demand, but once again, it's all being soaked up by this garnet residential zone over here. But we have very few lots now, surely. Yeah, so I think this area should be pretty much filled up within, you know, not too long at all. And then hopefully we'll start getting some people moving in over here. I'm really hoping that the building theme I've selected actually has high density residential. I'm assuming it does, but I'm going to quickly check that, I think, just to make sure. So as it turns out, the building theme I was using did not actually have residential. So that's why we weren't having any residential developing over here. So I've added an extra theme for it's the international theme. It seemed to have some nice high density residential. So we've gone with that one, and now we have we've got some residential developing, which is good. So hopefully all our businesses won't have to shut now. I'm also noticing we do have a little bit of a trash problem, so we're going to check on our garbage processing status. And oh, our landfill's full. Wow, okay. Yep, so that's a big problem that we're going to need to fix. So we might get a recycling center or two down, first of all. So we'll get one over here, and might put one down in our ore area as well. And we're probably just going to need to build another landfill, I guess. We can not fit one in there. We can get one in here. Okay, and what I might do as well is D-zone this. This is actually a commercial area, so this is a terrible placement. I apologize, but I'm not going to move it. It's what's done is done. What we're going to do as well is to place down some trees to hopefully give a little bit of a screen to the landfill, so it's not too gross for the community. That's not too bad. We might put some more trees in this area for the moment until we develop it further. Just so you know, for the people living on the edge of the birdsong area, they're not looking directly into a landfill over there. They've got a little bit of screening. So hopefully we should start getting garbage collected, and it won't be such an issue now that that single landfill is full. In fact, we might empty it as well. Alright, next on the list of things we want to do this episode, we want to get a nice quay set up along this river, which will provide, I guess, some opportunity for us to have a little bit of a tourist district here to get some tourists into the town. And what I want to use just this simple seawall, so that'll provide us a pedestrian path, and it doesn't have fences either. So we're going to have it start sort of, it'll go around this little beachy area. And just up to our bridge over here. That's a nice basic quay. We will lift it up a little bit, I think. Alright, so that's a nice little quay that we've got set up there. And we might grid down our future tourist area, but I'm not sure we'll put any zoning on it quite yet. And we've got a nice little laid out area here. We're going to add in some pedestrian paths as well. And then it's pretty much good to go once we have the commercial demand, and probably more importantly, the workforce to to make it work. Alrighty, and we're really starting to get some residential in here. We're still having lots of issues with workforce of like all education levels. We need a bit more, pretty much of everything. But until we get residential demand, we can't really help the businesses out with that, unfortunately. Okay, and Lorini is really starting to look quite healthy. We don't have any complaints at the moment about a lack of workers. We've got someone here complaining about not enough customers, but I suspect that will probably fix itself up. We've got another band of residential that is building up here, and we've got some more areas that we could potentially put a little bit more residential on as well, should we need to. So what I might do is just take out this grid by one more sort of 10 by 10 square. I'm just going to fix that up there, perfect. Our water is all good. So let's just flood this entire area with a little bit more residential. And that probably brings up an important point, is we need to start planning for some mass transit within this CBD area. And obviously we don't have trains at the moment, though looking at our population, we are about to level up to the next population level. So we might just sit back just for a few moments. Perfect. Small city. And this is where it gets exciting. So we've got trains. Excellent. So we can start to build our train yards for our industry areas. We can implement a high-rise ban should we wish to, which I think what we'll probably do is put that on as a citywide policy and only lift that on a sort of a case-by-case basis, but that's fine. And as you can see, we've got monorail, we've got trains, we've got a hydro plant, and a few sort of custom assets, I should say, that will help us make the city look a little bit cooler as well. So just before we finish off then, I just want to get some metro down here so we can, I guess, set up the basis of success for our residential and commercial sort of communities here. So what I want to first start off with is a what we'll call a town hall station right here, so that it'll allow people easy access if they want to go check out town hall or if they're going to a meeting or something like that. And then what we're going to use is utilize these office corridors that haven't filled out yet for further stops. And probably we'll put another one nice and close to our main road if we can get it down. So unfortunately, yeah, the slopes aren't actually fantastic here. They are quite steep and will cause some issues. But from here, what we're going to do is just try and loop it back. We'll have one nice and close, hopefully. Jeez, okay. I mean, the slopes don't look ridiculous to me. What I might have to have a look at, not for this episode, is there are some assets for some metro stations that have stuff like different platform depths and stuff like that, which I think are quite helpful for these sort of challenging slopes. I'm gonna see if I can do just a little stub road here. And actually see if... that looks pretty flat there, so I wonder if it'll place down. No, it won't. Let's try something. I'm going to use Move It to rotate this. How does it look? Looks fine. The tunnels aren't sticking up out of the ground, anything like that, which is excellent. And let's see if we can connect tracks. Alright, so we've got just a very simple sort of loop set up here. We'll probably just send it in one direction at the moment. It's a very short loop, so I don't think it's too much bother for people to have to go, you know, the other direction, I guess. I'll put on some, I think some DLR, some Docklands Light Railway cars. So these are slightly more capacity, or double the capacity of regular metro trains, but they're not ridiculous. And those are from the ride pack, as you'd see from the description there. So let's run with that, and let's see what the system thinks in terms of how many vehicles we need. So it's only saying 1 at the moment. I think we might boost that to 2. To 2, okay. And I don't expect much patronage at the moment, but I think as the CBD grows, it's definitely going to be quite important for us to have some, I guess, suburban links within this sort of district here. This one doesn't have power, unfortunately. What I might do, just be a little bit cheaty for the moment and just give this a little substation. Which isn't enough, apparently. No, it is enough. Okay. And it just needs a bit of water as well. Okay, perfect. So that is all set up and good to go, and we've got some nice areas sort of laid down ready for us to continue expanding next time. But I'm really excited about what the next episode is going to look like. So we're going to start laying down some rail, which is I think one of my favorite things to do in Cities Skylines is just to sort of organize sort of cool like yards and stuff like that, so it looks a little bit realistic. But I think now that we've got rail unlocked, now that we're up to small city, that's probably going to be about it for this episode. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm really glad we fixed the issues with the broken pathfinding, because that was causing me a lot of stress and it was making it really difficult to record cool, engaging content. But yeah, until next time, my social media links are in the description of this video. Please get on there, like, subscribe, follow, all of that. It will be really cool if I can build up a nice little social media following to help spread the word. Yesterday I announced my new Buy Me a Coffee page, which does allow, if you're really enjoying the content and you do want to give a little bit back, it does allow you to either do sort of a one-time tip sort of thing, or to subscribe on an ongoing basis. There are a number of tiers, links in the description of that one as well, so if you're interested, get in and have a look and see if you're interested. But otherwise, until next time, my name is Bob Dendry, this is Cities Skylines, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.